The following is a Dowling Catholic Sports presentation on Iowa Catholic Radio. Our coverage of Dowling Catholic High School basketball is underwritten by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Instruction Professionals, Dental Associates, Kemen, and Mercy One. Thank you for supporting Dowling Catholic basketball on Iowa Catholic Radio.
And good morning and welcome to the Boys State Basketball Tournament. Here on Iowa Catholic Radio, as we're live from Wells Fargo Arena in downtown Des Moines as we preempt regular programming on this Wednesday, March 10th. Mark Amadale joined by Mike Swaim. And Swaimer, you're dressed for TV, but we're on radio this morning. You've done a great job covering 1A and 2A. And this is a different tournament. There's a lot of excitement down here this week.
It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed doing the TV, although I do like showing up to Dowling in just a pair of sweatpants and a T-shirt with you, Mark. So my wardrobe feels a lot more comfortable in the Dowling gymnasium. But, you know, we've got a great matchup here today. Dowling is coming in winners of 7 of 8. I mean, they're as hot as they can be. Great win over Valley in that sub-state. And very familiar with this opponent as both Dowling and Johnston split in the regular season.
Yeah, each winning on their home floor in the last couple of months. Dowling with the last win, as that was at Dowling last month. But, you know, Mike, you get used to playing in high school gyms. Now you're on the big floor here at Wells Fargo Arena where the G League team, the Wolves, play. So 95-foot court. A lot of space above the basket as there normally is, but this is not a gym. This is an arena, and a little bit different sight lines for these young men between Dowling and Johnston today. And round 1 of Class 4A. This is the first game of 4 in Class 4A. You notice anything? One thing I always notice, I noticed it last week at the girls' tournament, they like to shoot from the NBA G League line because that's the first line they pick up in their sights.
That's a great point. I've been watching down all the games down here, and the amount of three-pointers that are taken well beyond the arc has really increased. The other thing I've noticed is that the free throw shooting in all 4 classes, well, we haven't seen Class 4A, but in the Class 3A, 2A, and 1A has been awful. I mean, the free throw shooting by all teams just has, and I don't know, again, normally we have a little bit more, fans and action behind the benches here. It's sort of wide open because they've, obviously with COVID protocol and stuff. So I don't know if that's affecting it, but certainly free throw percentage is down among all classes.
They certainly are. Both teams warming up on the floor right now. Dowling actually just heading to the locker room. The Maroons will be wearing their road gray uniforms with maroon numbers, and Johnston wearing their home white uniforms with purple trim and numbers. Johnston is the 4 seed, Dowling the 5 seed, and what a tournament sets up in Class 4A as Cedar Falls, the overall number 1 seed, the Waukee Warriors are 2, and the winner of this game will face the winner of Cedar Falls and Dubuque Senior, I believe, in the next in the semifinals, which will begin on Thursday night, tomorrow night at 6.
I'm not sure if I was Coach O'Connor, if I could have drawn up a better plan to get to the state championship game than Dowling's draw. I mean, to face Johnston, who you've already beat this year, and then take on any team not named Waukee in the second round is, in my opinion, a win. And so they've got a great draw, but this is going to be a tough game. Johnston is very capable of winning this. Obviously, again, we mentioned that they split, but Dowling, actually, Mark, when we go back to that game at Dowling where Dowling won, Johnston actually led that game by 4, but Dowling had a great second half, really clamping down, holding the Dragons to under 30% shooting, and outscore the Dragons by 13 in that fourth quarter.
All right, we're going to take a break here on our pregame show this morning from Wells Fargo Arena, downtown Des Moines, as we preempt regular programming here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Mark Amadale, Mike Swaim will come back with starting lineups of this morning's game. The first game in Class 4A, it's Dowling and Johnston. Other games going on, they'll face the winner. The winner of this game will face the winner of the Cedar Falls and Dubuque Senior game, which comes up next. Later on this afternoon, it's Waukee and Pleasant Valley, and Council Bluffs, Abraham Lincoln taking on Ames. That'll be the final game at 4 o'clock in Class 4A. Back with more from Wells Fargo Arena here in Des Moines on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio and Dowling Catholic Sports is provided in part by Ashworth Vision Clinic. With 2 licensed optometrists, Barbara Sheets, a Dowling graduate, and Dr. Craig Harper, the Ashworth Vision Clinic team provides complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. Ashworth Vision Clinic is located at 60th and Ashworth in West Des Moines. 515-440-4610 or online, ashworthvision.com.
Thank you, construction professionals, for underwriting our show, Man Up, heard Mondays at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Construction professionals have been long supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio, and we've seen their work It's beautiful.
They do remodeling or new construction that is innovative, functional, and designing what you want. It's a family business built on a strong foundation to create a new or remodeled home that is uniquely yours.
cpcustomhomes.com. From our family to yours, God bless. Thank you, construction professionals.
And welcome back to Wells Fargo Arena here in downtown Des Moines. Mark Emmerdale alongside Mike Swaim as we get set for boys state tournament basketballs. Dowling and Johnston for the third time this year. These two teams split during the regular season, and they come in, as Mike mentioned, Dowling winning 7 of their last 8 games. The Maroons have went 6-4 against top 10 teams in Class 4A throughout the year. Johnston comes in winning 3 of their last 5 games and 10 of their last 13 games. Their only losses were to number 2 Waukee, to Dowling, and to a third-ranked Ames, who's in the tournament. And, of course, the Dragons, coached by second-year head coach Brian Frick. Congratulations to him in his second year with Coach Andy Woodley and Josh Kennedy. Make their first state tournament appearance after Bobby Sandquist left. So this is a little bit different for the Johnston Dragons, Dowling's opponent this morning.
It is the start of a new tradition for Coach Frick. And how about their road? They upset. They beat Kennedy in overtime, 67-65, in a really hard-fought game, and they came away with the winner to punch their ticket down here to Wells Fargo.
Yeah, sub-state final. That was a big win for the Johnston Dragons over Kennedy up at Marshalltown Roundhouse. Well, one of the roundhouses got used in the 4A sub-state finals, and that was not the one at Lincoln. It was the one in Marshalltown. So you were close, Mr. Swain.
I was trying. I was really lobbying.
For Dowling Catholic, the Maroons defeated Des Moines East 75-39, their first round game in sub-state. And then they knocked off the 6th-ranked Valley Tigers 61-51, the game that Mike and I did at Dallas Center Grimes last week to get the Maroons to the state tournament. Third straight year Michael Connor has led this team here, and it's an all-senior starting lineup. And I think 3 of the top 4 subs off the bench are seniors, so a very veteran group for Dowling in this tournament.
We've got a couple guys who had significant playing time down here last year in both Riggs and Matthew Riedel. So they're not going to be strangers to this, and you mentioned it, a lot of leadership, senior leadership with this team, and I think this is one of Mike O'Connor's best coaching jobs that he's done since he's been here at Dowling.
In one of his most toughest conference games, because they had to get ready through their conference, the new Central Conference, Valley, Waukee, Johnston, Urbandale, and Southeast Polk. I think 4 of the 6 were ranked at one, maybe 5 of the 6 teams were ranked at one time this year. The only team not ranked during that was Urbandale, and they upset Dowling before Christmas break.
Yeah, they really turned it on. I think the turning point was that Southeast Polk loss in overtime, Mark, that you and I did. I just got a feeling the Dowling's offense found something there, and they have been running that streak ever since.
Right now they are introducing the complete teams for both Dowling and Johnston on the floor. And, of course, we're at the mercy of TV. You people have held up games this year. I see the guy with the red shirt today. When he stands up, I know we're done for 2 minutes. Is that right?
A lot of TV timeouts there. A lot of space. We got to sell those ads, Mark.
Yeah, you media people, you TV people, all have that FaceTime, you know. It's not the referees in college and the pros. It's the media here. But they do a great job covering the tournament. Let's take a look at this morning's starting lineup. Again, the Dowling Maroons, the head coach is Mike O'Connor in his 15th year, 229 wins, 132 losses. He's assisted by Nick Wagner and Jimmy Nahas. Also on the bench, Pat Henkinius and David Combs, the sophomore coaches. Freshman coaches are Kevin O'Hare, Todd Hetherington, and Chad Dreckman. And, of course, those 2 little ball boys you see out there, if you're watching on the stream, is Miles and Elliot O'Connor, Coach O'Connor's son. And we'll start with the Dowling starters. The Maroons come in with a record of 12-8. They are unranked. They have played the 3rd toughest schedule in Class 4A, and they come in averaging 61 points on offense, giving up 56 points on defense. They'll start at one guard. Sam Hughes, 6'1 senior, averaging 6 points, leads the team with 85% shooting from the free throw line. Sam will wear number 13. Jack Gredeke is a 6'10 forward, averaging 9.5 points, leads the team with 35 made threes. Gredeke will wear number 15, and he is also a senior. The second guard is Simon Daniel, 6'2 senior, averaging 6.5 points. The Maroons' leading defender has 16 steals, and he will wear number 23. And the third guard is Matt Riedel, a 6'4 senior, averaging 12.5 points. leads the team with 5 assists and 36 steals. Riebe will wear number 25. And the final senior starter is center Ryan Riggs, a 6'8" senior averaging 15 points. He's the Maroons' leading scorer, leading field goal. Leads the team in field goal percentage of 65% and rebounds, 6.5 with 21 blocks. Also leads the team. Riggs will wear number 21. So the guards are Hughes, Daniel, and Riedel for Dowling, along with Riggs and Gregory in the posts. And the Maroons, as mentioned, the 5th seed in this tournament, and they come in with a power rating of a 3rd toughest schedule in Class 4A. And now for the Johnston Dragons. They come in with a record of 10-4. They were shut down all of December as their school was going online with learning, so they did not play the month of December. They come in with the 2nd toughest schedule in Class 4A with the record of 10-4. They average 58.5 points on offense, give up just about 48 points on defense. The head coach, as I mentioned, Brian Frick, 2nd year, 25 wins, 12 losses for a 68% winning percentage. They'll start at one guard, Trey Lewis, 5'11" junior, averaging 13 points, leads the team with 35 made threes, and he shoots 79% from the free throw line, leads the team. He'll wear number 3. The other guard is Stephen Kramer, a 6'5" junior, averaging 12 points. And the third guard is Reed Grant, the North Dakota recruit, a 6'3" senior, averaging 14 points, team high, and a team high 4 assists. He'll wear number 10. At one forward is Carter Borwick, a 6'3" senior, averaging 6 points. He'll wear number 22. And finally at center, Max Rocky, a 6'7" senior, averaging 8 points, 10 rebounds, leads the team, 12 blocks, and 24 steals. So that's a look at the starters as Johnston comes in with a record of 10-4. Dowling's record 12-8. This is the first round of Class 4A. There'll be 3 other games later. The winner of this game will face the winner of Cedar Falls and Dubuque Senior. But now we'll take a break, come back with the tip-off between Dowling and Johnston. But first, a word from Dr. Dan Ryan, the president of Dowling Catholic High School, and our pregame prayer with Father Ryan Andrew, the chaplain at Dowling Catholic High School. Along with Mike Swain, I'm Mark Amadale. Jimmy Olson, our studio producer, back with a tip-off. Dowling and Johnston here at the Boys State Basketball Tournament at Wells Fargo Arena in downtown Des Moines, coming up on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Ryan, president of Dowling Catholic High School, and welcome to another season of exciting Dowling High School basketball. We are proud to be partners with Iowa Catholic Radio, not only broadcasting basketball, but also being partners in preparing Christ-centered leaders for life. Go Maroons!
Hello, my name is Father Ryan Andrew, and I'm the chaplain at Dowling Catholic High School. Let us pray for the coaches, players, and trainers tonight for this athletic competition. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all your gifts. We ask you to bless all those involved in this athletic competition tonight. We ask that you keep them safe, and that they all show good sportsmanship. We ask this through Christ our Lord, amen. All holy men and women, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen.
Iowa Catholic Radio, KWKY Des Moines, K233BT Des Moines, KIHS Adel. Listen online anytime at iowacatholicradio.com or download the Iowa Catholic Radio app.
Welcome back to Wells Fargo Arena here in downtown Des Moines. Alongside Mike Swain, I'm Mark Amadale. Thanks to Jimmy Olson, Deacon Tony Valdez back at the Iowa Catholic Radio Studios as we preempt programming this morning to bring you coverage of the Boys State Basketball Tournament here in downtown Des Moines, Wells Fargo Arena. Dowling and Johnston for the 3rd time. And Mike Swain, what are some of the keys of the game that you pointed out?
Well, let's start with Dowling. They've got to take care of the balls. They've been doing a much better job of taking care of it, not turning it over. But against Valley in that sub-state final, they had 18 turnovers, and that kept Valley in that game. They have 18 turnovers today. They're going to get beat. And then Ryan Riggs has got to stay on the floor. He can't get in foul trouble against Max Rocky. And then going over to the Johnston side, they've got to compete with Dowling on the boards. Dowling has a clear advantage, rebounding both offensively and defensively. And then Johnston has to have balanced scoring. They got 3 guys who are in double figures, including Reed Grant at 14. But that last game, it was Reed Grant and everybody else, and that was why they got beat on Dowling's home floor.
All right, the tip is up and controlled by the Johnston Dragons. They'll be going left to right towards the north basket here at Wells Fargo Arena. Mark Amadale, Mike Swain bringing you the coverage here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Dragons with the basketball. Trey Lewis, Reed Grant, Stephen Kramer, the 3 guards. Shot in the lane, no good. But the follow-up shot up and in by Trey Lewis. Maroons got guilty of not boxing out there.
Yeah, talking about competing on the boards, that's a good way to get it started. An offensive putback for Lewis as he got his own.
Dowling with the basketball. The Maroons wearing their road gray uniforms, maroon numbers. Here is Riedel down the lane. His shot up, no good. Rebound comes out to Max Rocky, and the Dragons the other way we go.
That was a great look, and Riedel has been getting to the basket so well. And, boy, Trey Lewis off to a good start, Mark.
He hits a 3 in transition. It's 5-0 Dragons, and this is something that Dowling did not have happen in their second meeting. They kept Trey Lewis under wraps already with 5 points.
Yeah, they held him to 10, and that time just sort of lost him in transition.
All right, here's Riggs underneath, and the lane is shot up and good. Ryan Riggs went right around Rocky as he posts up on the left block.
Dowling's been doing a great job of starting their offense inside and then kick out for those big threes that they have been getting hot at late in the season.
Both teams in man-to-man defense, as Dowling is now, as they post up Stephen Kramer. Now he kicks it back out to Lewis. Lewis dribble drives in the lane, has help, and he leaves it for Rocky to lay up good. Dribble penetration by Lewis, and the pass to Max Rocky for the basket.
Boy, Johnston looks really sharp early on. Trey Lewis causing some problems with the penetration there.
And it's Johnston with the lead early, 7-2 over Dowling Catholic. Now a long 3 up and no good by Riggs of all folks from the right wing. Rebound Johnston.
Yeah, that's not really his game.
Dragons with the basketball. Here's Lewis in the lane, kicks it over in the corner. A long 3 by Borwick is up and in and out, no good. Rebound Dowling and Riggs. Found Borwick in that corner. That's his first shot for Johnston. Here's Hughes in the front court for Dowling Catholic. It's Hughes, Riedel, and Simon Daniel at 3 guards with Gregory and Riggs in the paint. Now they leave it inside for Riggs. He's unguarded as he got right around Rocky for the basket. Riggs with all 4 Dowling's points, Mike.
Rocky was trying to go high side on that, but that was a great pass to the baseline side, and Riggs' easy layup.
Now Johnston with the basketball. They dribble in the lane. Here's Kramer with it. Now he's cut off. Backs up, pull-up jumper, good in the lane. A nice little turnaround shot over Riedel.
Early on, Johnston's 4 for 5. Just on cruise control right now offensively.
3 players have scored underneath, and now Dowling with the basketball. Underneath is Hughes. His shot is no good from the left side. Rebound is Johnston. Underneath is Reed Grant. His shot is up and no good, and he drew the foul. The basket's no good, but a foul called and 2 shots coming for the Johnston Dragons.
And I think they're going to get Ryan Riggs on that.
21, Ryan. And you are correct there, Mr. Swain.
Dowling has been a little slow getting back in transition. That time, Reed Grant able to get into the paint and put some pressure on. We saw Trey Lewis spot up in transition for a wide open 3, so he's got to do a much better job of getting back.
Grant, the University of North Dakota recruit, misses the first free throw. 5:09 remaining, first quarter. Second free throw short. Rebound slapped around, and Rocky comes away with it for Johnston as we approach the 5-minute mark. 9-4 Johnston. Underneath, reverse layup, up and no good by the Dragons. They keep things alive. Grant will go back to the free throw line. Foul on Dowling.
Coach O'Connor can't be happy with this. There's been 3 offensive rebounds so far that Johnston's been able to get, that time off of a free throw. He wants to talk about it here.
Fouls on Gregory and a timeout on the floor. This will be a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here with 5:02 remaining in the first quarter. Johnston 9, Dowling Catholic 4 here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Mark Amadale, Mike Swain, and Swimmer Johnston off to a great start, and that was the key to their success the first time these 2 teams met in January, and the Dragons getting that win on their home floor.
Well, defensively, what Coach O'Connor's got to be concerned about is having Johnston get into the paint so easily. Trey Lewis and Reed Grant have both been able to put the ball on the floor and get in, and then that puts so much pressure on your backside defense. Somebody has to stop the ball, and then you leave wide open guys either on the block or outside. So Dowling's got to tighten up their man-to-man defense.
This morning's game on Iowa Catholic Radio brought to you in part by Catholic Tuition Organization, Mercy One, and Kemen. Grant back to the free throw line where he's 0 for 2 already, and his first free throw is good. Reed with his first point of the morning, and it's Johnston with their largest lead, 10-4 over Dowling Catholic here. 5 minutes, 2 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The winner meets the winner of the Cedar Falls and Dubuque Senior game, which comes up next. Second free throw good. Grant now with 2 points as he's 2 for 4 at the line, and it's 11-4. Johnston and Dowling with the basketball. Here's Gregory with it, has the ball slapped away and stolen by Reed Grant. That pass from Simon Daniel, he reached in there and grabbed the ball. And now here's Kramer in transition to Grant, who's guarded by Simon Daniel. We wondered who Simon would guard this game, and they picked Grant, their leading scorer.
Well, Simon Daniel's done just an outstanding job lately guarding people. He's got his hands full today with Reed Grant.
Here's Kramer in the lane, guarded by Riedel. Kramer backs in. Pull-up jumper up and good. Rolls through, and Stephen Kramer bowls his way in. He's got 4 points, and it's 13-4, Johnston by 9 over Dowling.
Second time he's been able to back down Riedel that time, and Riedel has some long arms, pretty good height, but a better hook shot that time.
All right, Gregory with it. He's been held scoreless thus far. Now traveling on Riedel as he got the pass from Gregory. Everything Johnston's way here. 4:07 remaining here in the first quarter. 13-4. Johnston leading Dowling Catholic. And now we've got a full timeout. We'll take one ourselves. With Johnston leading Dowling 13-4. 4 minutes, 7 seconds remaining first quarter from Wells Fargo Arena. Back after these messages on Iowa Catholic Radio.
This is a Young Catholic Minute. Why do I have to listen to the Pope? He's not God. No, he's not. But God did leave us the popes to speak for him, and it's a good thing he did. Otherwise, our teachings, which have stayed constant ever since Christ gave them to us in the beginning, might have gotten corrupted and changed. I mean, can you imagine what would have happened if the U.S. Constitution had fallen from the sky and each person had taken it home and decided what it meant to him? We need the bishops, and especially the Pope, to remind us of what truth really is in the face of ever-changing cultural opinion. Even our worst popes, you know, the ones you've heard about who are murderers or had mistresses or ate ice cream in bed, have never altered church teaching in the least. How is that possible? Because while they may not be personally holy, Christ made their position holy and guards them from teaching in error, so that his church will always be like him. True. For more Young Catholic Minutes, go to youtube.com/youngcatholic.
And we're back here at Wells Fargo Arena, downtown Des Moines. Mark Amadale, Mike Swaim, Jimmy Olson, and Deacon Tony Valdez, our studio producers back at Iowa Catholic Radio. We interrupt to bring you coverage of the 2021 Boys State Basketball Tournament. As Johnston now out of the timeout with the basketball, leading by 9. Maroons now force a turnover. The other way we go here, Mike.
That was a good play by Riggs. They tried to lob it to Rocky, and Riggs was able to deflect that, and Dowling has it.
Jalen Moses into the Dowling lineup, out of the timeout. The one change as Gregory has a seat on the bench. Here's Simon Daniel with it, dribbles to the left elbow, now can't go anywhere. Guarded by Reed Grant. That's a great matchup. Here's Hughes with it, beyond the three-point arc, guarded by Trey Lewis. Hughes in the lane, pull-up jumper, no good, and a whistle and a foul before the shot on Lewis. That'll be Trey's first foul, and the first team foul on Johnston here.
Well, Johnston really aggressive right now, pressuring the ball, denying passing lanes. Really making it tough for the Dowling offense.
Jalen Moses will throw it in for the Maroons. Gets to Riggs on the right baseline. They try to post up, and now they dribble handoff to Riedel. Johnston over playing the passing lanes, and now a shot by Riggs, no good. A loose ball foul called on Dowling.
Well, I'm hoping this is on Riedel and not Riggs. And it looks like it is going to be on Riggs.
Riggs picks up his second foul. And that'll get Andrew Lynch in the lineup for Dowling. So Moses is already in there in the post. Lynch, another senior, as Dowling's top 8 are all seniors. The ninth reserve, Carson Brown, is the only junior in that rotation. So it is Johnston basketball. 13-4 is our score. Ryan Riggs with 2 fouls here in the first quarter. We're at the 3:05 mark. The Dragons leading by 9. Here's Grant in the lane. Leaves it for his teammate. Stolen away by Riedel. Got a little careless with that pass. Riedel down court. His shot up and short. Fight for the rebound. And Lynch comes away with it. His tip is up and good. Missed the first one. But either he or Riedel got the tip.
I think that was going to be Riedel who got the tip, but that was a great job of keeping it alive by Lynch.
They give it to Riedel. They're both there. And Lynch bowls his way through to assist. 13-6 Johnston. in the lane. A no-look pass to Rocky. The shot is no good. Carter Borwick with the no-look pass. Rebound Dowling. Maroons in transition. Simon Daniel, corner three, up and no good. Rocky with the rebound as Lynch hits the deck. And Johnston now with the basketball, leading by 7 with 2:10 remaining here in the first quarter. Over in the corner, it is Borwick. Dribble drives, gets a man in the air. His shot up and good with the left hand. Carter Borwick, the senior, with his first basket.
Well, Moses went too far aggressively to try and challenge Borwick on the three-point line. He's only got 9 3-pointers on the year. You got to come out cautiously and not let him get around you like that.
Johnston 15, Dowling Catholic 6. Minute 45 remaining first quarter from Wells Fargo Arena, downtown Des Moines. Now the pass stolen away by Johnston. They try to hit Hughes in the corner, and now back the other way in transition. The Dragons attacking the glass, and a foul on Lynch of Dowling.
Yeah, that's Dowling's third turnover.
Roos just have not found their sink here in the first quarter. You can credit the Johnston Dragons for that, and we have one of those media timeouts. The guy with the orange sleeve raises his hand. We'll take a break. With a minute 38 remaining here in the first quarter, it's Johnston 15, Dowling Catholic 6. And you're listening to coverage of the 2021 Boys State Basketball Tournament, Class 4A, the first round, here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
What is the best gift ever? Giving a Catholic education is at the top of my list. Your contribution to CTO helps families send their children to our Catholic schools who otherwise could not afford it. In giving to CTO, you receive the best tax credits ever. Pledge or donate online at ctoiowa.org. The bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
Thank you, Dental Associates, for underwriting Dowling Catholic Sports 365. With over 40 years' experience, Dental Associates is a group dental practice with the mission of promoting optimum health and well-being to all patients, providing preventative, restorative, and cosmetic dentistry for the entire family. Message underwritten by Dr. Kenton Gleichman, Dr. Steve Karbaka, and Dr. Ben Nagel. Dental Associates, addressing your smile, needs, and dreams. Online at DesMoines-DentalAssociates.com.
Hey, we're back here at Wells Fargo Arena, downtown Des Moines, the Boys State Basketball Tournament, Class 4A. Johnston leading Dowling now 16-6 as Kramer at the line. Stephen Kramer hits the first free throw. He has 5 points this morning, second one on the way. As it's been all Johnston, they're up by 10 and make it 11. Largest lead for the Dragons now, and Kramer with 6 points. And the Maroons have an uphill climb here, trailing by 11. As we approach the final minute of the first quarter, and Maroons will have to do it without Ryan Riggs. And now Moses guilty of the travels. He wanted to attack the glass. Another Dowling turnover, which is what we talked about in the pregame a little bit.
Another
Mike.
turnover, and then, you just look at the shooting right now. Dowling 3 for 10, Johnston 6 for 9. I mean, that sort of sums up where we're at here in this ballgame. Then you throw in the turnovers, and has not been a good quarter for Dowling.
I want to thank Ashworth Vision Clinic, along with construction professionals and dental associates, for supporting our broadcast all season long on Iowa Catholic Radio. Now Lewis with the basketball. His shot up, and they're going to wave it off, no good, and a whistle and a foul before the shot on Dowling. And they may get Mikey Chase, who just checked in with that.
Yeah, Dowling fortunate that basket was waved off. That could have been another three-point play.
So Johnson will inbound the ball underneath their own basket. Lob in, and they flush it through. That's Stephen Kramer flushing it home. And the Dragons are in control here. Kramer with 8 points, and the Dragons by 13 over Dowling here in the first quarter. Underneath Riedel, his shot no good. Ball tipped out of bounds, and they're going to give it to Johnston.
Now that was a great inbounds play. Just a screen and then the dunk and a perfect pass.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. The inbounder has to make that perfect pass, and he put it right up above the rim for Kramer to flush it home. 19-6 Johnston. They have the basketball as they go left to right towards the north basket here at Wells Fargo Arena. Ball tipped out of bounds by the Maroons. It'll be Johnston basketball. 48 seconds remaining. Keep in mind, Riggs for Dowling already has 2 fouls. Maroons with 5 team fouls here in the first quarter. Johnston with 1, and that was on Trey Lewis.
Dowling needs to figure out a way to get some stops, and then they've got to get in some offensive rhythm right now. The Johnston defense has been just pressuring them into these turnovers, just poor spacing by Dowling on offense.
Reed Grant inbounds the ball, gets to Rocky. Grant guarded by Simon Daniel. He works the right side, the right elbow, now traveling, called on Carter Borwick. He did like Jalen Moses did, wanted to attack the basket from the right three-point line extended on the right wing and travel.
Well, how about this, Mark? So with 41 seconds to go and Dowling has the ball, Coach O'Connor's going to get Riggs back in with 2 fouls. Again, we've talked about that offense-defense, and they've been able to do that pretty well this year.
35 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Johnston with its largest lead, 19-6 over Dowling. Maroons with the basketball. Riedel, dribble handoff, goes to Simon Daniel. Dowling may play for one.
Yeah, somehow if they could just get a basket here and some momentum, they get the ball coming back at the second quarter.
Daniel now picks up his dribble, gets to Riggs. Back to Daniel, and it's tipped away. Good defense that time by the Dragons, poked away by Reed Grant. In the front court is Lewis. He'll launch a three. It's up and no good. Rebound, Jalen Moses. We got a loose ball foul called on the Dragons, and that'll be on Carter Borwick.
Dowling's going to have 4 seconds to go here, but they've got to go the length of the floor, so this is going to have to be a quick shot.
No, Riedel will throw it in. And Dowling has Riggs underneath the basket. They get it to Riedel. Here's Moses for 3 at the horn. It's no good, and we've come to the end of the first quarter. And it's all Johnston here at Wells Fargo Arena. Johnston Dragons 19, Dowling Catholic 6, along with Mike Swaim. I'm Mark Amadeo, back with the second quarter of this Class 4A boys state basketball tournament game in Class 4A after these messages on Iowa Catholic Radio.
This is Dale Alquist with a Chesterton Minute. Have you ever heard someone say, "Why do Christians talk so much about God and so little about humanity?" G.K. Chesterton says that the people who insist that we forget divine things and think of human things end up talking about how helpless human beings are because of their faulty environment or their fatal heredity or their uncontrollable animal instincts. And it all ends with the old fatalist cry that we must forgive everything because there's nothing to forgive. But these things are not the human things. These are the subhuman things, the things we share with animals. The human things are exactly what they dismiss as merely divine. The human things are free will, responsibility, authority, and self-denial. The things that are really human are also divine. Want more than a minute? Chesterton.org.
And we're back here at Wells Fargo Arena here in downtown Des Moines. The boys Class 4A state basketball tournament. First game today of the big schools. Later on, game following this, the winner of the Dowling-Johnston game will meet the winner of the Cedar Falls, who's ranked number 1, against Dubuque Senior, the 8th-seeded team. And then later on this afternoon, it'll be Waukee, the 2-seed, taking on Pleasant Valley, and Ames, the 3rd-seed, taking on Council Bluffs Lincoln. Mark and Amadeo and Mike Swaim. Swimmer, tough first quarter for the Maroons, held to 6 points by a very tough Johnston defense.
Dowling goes 3 for 12 shooting in that quarter. Johnston, on the other hand, 7-11 for 63%. Currently, Johnston out-rebounding Dowling 8-5, and then the turnovers. Dowling with 5 turnovers, Johnston with 3. Johnston's already been to the line 6 times. Dowling doesn't have a free throw attempt. So the stats really in favor of Johnston, as is the scoreboard.
All right, we're waiting on that guy with the orange sleeve to cue us in. It's all done through the TV. Folks don't know, Mike Swaim doing some of the TV coverage with some of the guys from the Iowa Sports Network. They do a great job all week. Every game is streamed and online. And we're underway as they give us the go-ahead signal. Dowling with the basketball. It's Riedel. Gretzky back in along with Sam Hughes. And look who's in there. Riggs gets the start here in the second quarter. So Dowling back to their 5 starters along with Simon Daniel. Daniel dribbles in the lane. And a pull-up jumper, good. Gets it to fall. Simon with his first basket comes in averaging 6.5 points and has the first basket of the second quarter here, Mike.
That was a tough shot, and that's what Dowling needed. They've got to come up with some stops now, though.
19-8 is our score. Johnston by 11. They lob it underneath, and the ball might have been partially blocked and deflected by Riggs. And then the alley-oop dunk is no good by Stephen Kramer. Rebound Dowling. There's Hughes in the front court. Sam now gets it over to Riedel. Matt with it, dribbles in the lane, and he goes uncontested for the layup. Rocky didn't come over to help, and Matt Riedel with the basket. That is his 4th point here.
Last 2 baskets, Simon Daniel penetrating, getting a shot. Riedel penetrating and getting the shot. Great offense.
Dowling cuts to 9. It's 19-10. Johnston underneath. A shot too strong, no good. Rebound by Rocky as Kramer misses the basket. Here's Reed Grant underneath. He puts up a shot. It's no good. Grant gets his own rebound, and his ball nearly poked out of bounds by Riedel. Johnston retains possession. Borwick for 3. It's no good. Fight for the rebound. Gregory comes away with it, but not before 3 chances by the Dragons.
A couple of chances, but you got to credit the Dowling defense. They were able to somehow come up with a stop, and might be looking at a little mini run here if they could get a basket.
The Maroons are already on a 4-0 run to start the second quarter. They've trailed by as many as 13 to the Dragons. Here's Gregory with it in the corner. To Riedel, back to Riedel. He'll launch the 3. It's up and short. A rebound out to Reed Grant and the Dragons.
Yeah, that's not really Riedel's game. Not really comfortable on the 3-point line, even though he was wide open.
Yeah, Matt, 8 of 48 on the season, so you're right, not his game. And he was launching it from that NBA G League line, and now a 3-pointer good by Stephen Kramer from the right wing.
Well, that's a tough one. That just ended all of the Dowling momentum in that little run that they had.
Kramer with 11 points in the first half to lead Johnston. The ball tipped out of bounds as turn it over.
Yeah, Gregory threw it away. Again, bad spacing. Gregory was looking for Riggs on the block, but Hughes was in that area, so Gregory threw it away. Another turnover for Dowling.
Well, they started Riggs with 2 fouls, and now they're going to sit him on the bench. Andrew Lynch coming in for the Maroons, so Dowling with 4 of their starters, plus Lynch. And it's 22-10. Johnston by 12, and now Lewis has the ball slapped away by Andrew Lynch. He was double teaming with Sam Hughes against Lewis, and knocked out of bounds right in front, right down below us. Now, folks, we're on the 4th floor, and if my partner Mike Swaim starts getting a nosebleed, I've got stuff here for him. I got Kleenex and wipes and all that, because we are way up top.
I'm just glad you brought binoculars so we can see what's going on down there.
Yeah, we had to. Found that out last week. All right, here's Kramer with it in the lane. His shot up, and they're going to call him for the charge. Good job by guess who? Andrew Lynch drawing the charge, and they'll wipe out the basket by Stephen Kramer.
That's a great job, and now Michael Connor is going to get Ryan Riggs in for Andrew Lynch. Again, going offense to defense, trying to protect Ryan Riggs with these 2 fouls.
Jalen Moses will check in for Lynch, who drew the charge that time. Team foul number 3 on Johnston. Dowling with 5 team fouls. 5:15 remaining here in the second quarter. It's 22-10. Johnston leading Dowling here in Iowa Catholic Radio and coverage of the Class 4A State Boys Basketball Tournament here in 2021. Mark Amadale, Mike Swaim, thanks for tuning in this morning. Underneath is Moses, and Jalen a power dribble and has it stolen away as Carter Borwick has it now to Trey Lewis. Lewis dribbles down the left side, gets to Rocky. Up top it goes to Borwick for 3. It's off the mark, no good. Rebound Dowling and Riedel. One and done is Johnston. And the Dragons have not went much to their bench, if anyone, right now, Mike.
No, they haven't. And as soon as you mention it, they've got someone coming in at the scorer's table now. But you're right. They have pretty much gone with their starting 5.
Mason Ryan set to check in, a 6-foot junior. Here's Simon Daniel inside, and he has a ball stolen away by Kramer. 2-on-1 to Lewis. Layup is good. Kramer with the steal, and Trey Lewis with his 7th point this morning.
Now, the difference right now is the turnovers, Mark. They can't get into any kind of offensive rhythm because they continue to turn the ball over.
Underneath is Hughes, and he posts up Lewis and scores. Sam Hughes for Dowling with his first basket. It's 24-12, Johnston. The Dragons' largest lead has been 14 here in the first half. We're under 4 minutes. And Johnston with the basketball. Stephen Kramer beyond the 3-point arc is shot up and no good. Ball slapped around, and Moses slapped it out of the hands of Borwick, and it'll be Johnston basketball.
That time it looked like I thought Hughes or Moses had a chance to get that ball, but I think both of them thought it was off the Johnston player.
And we've got a media timeout with 3:43 remaining here in the first half. It's Johnston 24, Dowling 12, and you're listening to first round coverage of the Boys State Basketball Tournament here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio's broadcast of Dowling Catholic sports and activities is provided by Chemin, a global ingredient manufacturer using science to transform the quality of life for 80% of the world. Chemin is on the leading edge of molecular science, manufacturing more than 500 specialty ingredients for the human and animal health and nutrition, pet food, aquaculture, nutraceutical, food technologies, crop technologies, and textile industries. Chemin strives to sustainably transform the quality of life every day for 80% of the world with their products and services. Chemin, using science to transform the world. Online at chemin.com.
Thank you to Mercy One for their support of Iowa Catholic Radio. From the cardiovascular experts of the Iowa Heart Center to the pediatric services of Mercy Children's Hospital and Clinics, Mercy provides complete care for Central Iowa's adults and children with more than 50 primary care and specialty clinics in the Des Moines area. Find a convenient Mercy One location near you. Online at mercydesmoines.org.
And we're back here at Wells Fargo Arena here in downtown Des Moines as we preempt regularly scheduled program here on Iowa Catholic Radio to bring you the boys state basketball coverage. Class 4A, the large schools getting underway today, and it's Johnston leading Dowling 24-12. Dragons inbound the ball as Reed Grant throws it in, and they get inside to Rocky, and his shot with the left hand good from the left block. Max Rocky with his 4th point here, Mike.
Yeah, Coach O'Connor, watching him just put his head down with – it looked like they knew that was coming and still didn't defend it.
Right now it's Jalen Moses and Andrew Lynch in the post for Dowling.
Just not a lot of movement offensively right now for Dowling.
Here's Riedel with it, dribble drives and stops the right elbow. Gets to Moses. He'll shoot the three, and it's blocked. Blocked by Stephen Kramer. The Maroons get the rebound. Lynch with the rebound. Now the ball loose and tracked down by Sam Hughes, and the Maroons will start their offense. 26-12 is our score. Johnston by 14. We approach the 3-minute mark here in the first half. Daniel with it. Move the right side to Moses. Backdoor cut to Daniel, and he loses out of bounds. It'll be Dowling basketball. They say it went off of Mason Ryan, who's one of the first subs in for Johnston in this first half. A lot of minutes logged by the Dragons.
Well, the pace favors that, though. It's not an up-and-down pace. Dowling hasn't been able to get out and run because Johnston's been converting on that side. So it's not like Coach Frick has had a lot of tired players here. This has been really a half-court game.
Carter Warwick returns to the Dragon lineup, and Trey Lewis will check out, and we've got another media timeout. So 2:52 remaining here in the first half. It's Johnston 26, Dowling 12, back in 1 minute on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Iowa Catholic Radio is now available on your smart speaker, like the Amazon Echo or the Echo Dot. All you have to do is set up the Iowa Catholic Radio skill. You can listen to Iowa Catholic Talk Radio or Music Radio whenever you want. Step 1, say,
Alexa, enable the Iowa Catholic Radio skill.
Or enable it through your Alexa app. Step 2, say,
Alexa, open Iowa Catholic Radio.
Step 3, Alexa will give you a choice to listen to Iowa Catholic Radio Talk or Iowa Catholic Radio Music. Now enjoy listening to Iowa Catholic Radio through your smart speaker.
Has anyone ever told you to pray about it and left you thinking, okay, but how? First, invite the Holy Spirit to be with you as you talk to God. Think about what is going on in your heart and mind. Be honest. Acknowledge to God what you're thinking, feeling, and desiring, because He wants you, the real you. Then, tell Him about what you're experiencing and entrust that to Him. Finally, let the Father love us. Ask yourself, how is God loving me right now? He is loving always. Sometimes we need to stop and think of our blessings, because that is where we can find God.
And we're back here at Wells Fargo Arena. Dowling inbound the ball and nearly threw it away. It went out of bounds, and they're going to give it to the Maroons. Riedel will inbound it, and they have Riggs back in with 2 fouls again, Mike, does Dowling.
Yeah, again, just trying to go offense for defense, and Dowling's much better when Riggs is in there on the offensive side.
All right, here's Riedel underneath. This reverse layup is good. Nice inbounds pass that time, and Riedel shoots and scores, and Matt Riedel leading scorer for Dowling with 6 points here in the first half.
I think if you told Coach O'Connor if you could get this thing down to 10 or 8 at halftime, I think he'd sign up for that right now, Mark.
Johnston 26, Dowling 14. Underneath, a shot might have been blocked. No good by Stephen Kramer of the Dragons. Rebound Dowling. Maroons trail by 12, and now nearly going out of bounds is Hughes. He saves it to Simon Daniel. Simon with it. As we approach the 2-minute mark here in the first half, the Maroons have trailed by as many as 14 in this first half. Here's Riedel down the lane. His shot up and no good. He'll draw the foul, and free throws coming for the Maroons.
Well, good job that time by Riebe. And Coach O'Connor really comfortable going with Andrew Lynch now here, bringing Riggs out because offense, defense. One of the people we haven't seen, Mark, in a long time here is Gregory. He has been on the bench for a while.
Borwick with his second foul. And free throws coming from Matt Riebe. First one up and no good. This morning's game on Iowa Catholic Radio brought to you in part by our good friends at Catholic Tuition Organization. Our thanks to Kemen and Mercy One. That was the Maroons' first free throw of the contest. And then, Mike, as you mentioned at the break, Dowling 0 for three-point range.
0 for 6.
0 for 6. My goodness. Second free throw good by Riebe.
Dowling going to go here a little press. I like this, trying to force the tempo just a little bit.
Riebe with 7 points, and now they nearly had him trapped in the corner. Now they throw it across the timeline. Here's Kramer with it. Minute 55 remaining in the first half. Johnston 26, Dowling 15. The Maroons have won 7 of 8 games to get here. And the Johnston Dragons have won 10 of the last 13 games. Now the ball poked away underneath.
Great job by Lynch.
By the Maroons. Andrew Pender now in there for the Johnston Dragons, 6-foot junior. And he lost the basketball. Here's Riebe with it. Gets to Jalen Moses. Jalen on the baseline. Puts up a shot. It's no good. Drew the foul. Contact down. There might have been Borwick that reached in. And Dowling to the free throw line with Moses.
Well, good drive by Moses that time. Not settling for the three.
That is Borwick's third foul. So decisions for head coach Brian Frick and the Johnston Dragons here.
It looks like they've got Mason Ryan coming back in for Borwick, just as you said, Mark.
Moses with his first free throw. It's his first point of the morning. And Borwick will sit down with 3 fouls. Second free throw good by Moses. Jalen, a 76% free throw shooter, hits them both. And it's a 9-point Johnston lead, 26-17, minute and a half left, Mike.
This feels like a big possession. Dowling's got to get a stop here.
All right, here's Ryan for 3, good in the corner. Mason Ryan off the bench with his 8th 3 of the season.
Man, how about that? He comes off the bench, catches and shoots the 3.
As Dowling now in the front court. Here's Sam Hughes underneath to Lynch. His shot, little baby hook shot, no good over Rocky, and the rebound out to Johnston with a minute remaining. Johnston by 12. Over in the corner again, here's Mason Ryan. He'll launch another 3. It's no good. Rebound Dowling and Riebe. Here's Matt. Looking it over. Leaves it for Simon Daniel. Simon in the lane. Pull-up jumper up and no good. Drew the foul. Nice head fake that time by Simon because he likes to shoot the 3. Gave a head fake and attacked the glass.
Yeah, really good job that time by Simon Daniel. Again, I like the fact not settling for 3, forcing the action, driving in, getting some team fouls on Johnson. Now you got to convert at the line.
Father Collison, our PA announcer here, says Mason Ryan picked up the foul. 29-17 is our score. Johnston with the lead, 45 seconds remaining. Dowling at the free throw line. Simon Daniel makes the first, or misses the first, hits the second. He has 3 points now.
Dowling back in that press.
And it's 29-18, Johnston
like
by
carry.
11. Coach O'Connor saying, hey,
wow,
Reed Grant may have gotten away with something. Here's Ryan and Grant and Trey Lewis back in there running the dribble weave at the top of the circle. 30 seconds. Johnston wants to hold for the last shot. Possession arrow favors Johnston, so this could be a 2-possession swing, which may extend into the second half. Here's Kramer with it. Kicks it out to Lewis. 15 seconds remaining in the half. Johnston by 11. Dowling stays man-to-man. Here's Simon Daniel guarding Reed Grant at half court. Now has help from Andrew Lynch. Grant over to Lewis. Lewis dribble drive. Shot over Moses. No good. It's short. Rebound Dowling. Half-court shot at the buzzer by Hughes is short. And we go to halftime with Johnston leading Dowling 29-18 here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Mike will keep it here for a bit as the Maroons outscored 19-6 in that first half. Outscored Johnston 12-10 in the second quarter, but that deficit is going to be hard to dig into. The one positive thing for the Maroons, they have Carter Borwick, one of the Johnston starters, with 3 fouls. For Dowling, Riggs has 2 fouls. So things to keep in mind as both teams go to their halftime with the Dragons leading it by 11 and decisions to be made by both teams.
Well, Dowling was able to get away with Riggs only getting 2 fouls in that half. So it was a good job of the coaching staff getting him in when they could. And you mentioned it, the shooting right now, Dowling dug themselves in a hole, 36% right now from the field. Johnston cooling off a little bit, down to 45% from the field. Dowling still 0 for 6 from 3, but they've been able to get to the line the last 3 or 4 minutes. They got 6 free throw attempts, made 4 of them. Still have got to get a handle on those turnovers. Every time you turn the ball over, it stops some offensive rhythm, and that's really what they were lacking. But, look, at this point, you're down 11. Dowling has been down farther than this and been able to come back this year. So there's a lot of work to be done. It's going to have to start on the defensive end. But having Riggs with only 2 fouls, I think, is big for Dowling going into the second half.
And one thing, Mike, in the first half, Dowling put Johnston at the free throw line. They went 4 of 6 to the Dragons in the first quarter. Johnston did not go back in the second quarter to the free throw line.
Did a much better job of not fouling and also keeping the ball in front of them. They've allowed far less penetration, which is part of the reason why Johnston's shooting numbers have gone down. They were getting some pretty easy looks, so the Dowling defense has tightened up a little bit. Interesting to see what happens in this second half if they can get Gregory going a little bit. He was on the bench for an extended period of time, and really the last 5 or 6 minutes of the second quarter did not see action. So we'll see if they can get Gregory off to a good start, get Riggs back involved offensively as well.
Gregory did not score in that first half, you are correct, as Dowling went 3 of 4 at the free throw line all in the second quarter. We'll take a break. We're at halftime here at Wells Fargo Arena, game 1 of the Big Schools Class 4A. It's Mark Amadale, Mike Swaim here as we sit high atop Wells Fargo Arena here in downtown Des Moines. And I want to thank Jimmy Olson and Deacon Tony Valdez are back at the Iowa Catholic Radio Studios as we preempt program. And again, halftime score, Johnston 29, Dowling Catholic 18. We'll return with more here at Wells Fargo Arena with more halftime after these messages on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio and Dowling Catholic Sports is provided in part by Ashworth Vision Clinic. With 2 licensed optometrists, Barbara Sheets, a Dowling graduate, and Dr. Craig Harper, the Ashworth Vision Clinic team provides complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. Ashworth Vision Clinic is located at 60th and Ashworth in West Des Moines. 515-440-4610 or online, ashworthvision.com.
Thank you, construction professionals, for underwriting our show, Man Up, heard Mondays at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Construction professionals have been long supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio, and we've seen their work. It's beautiful.
They do remodeling or new construction that is innovative, functional, and designing what you want. It's a family business built on a strong foundation to create a new or remodeled home that is uniquely yours.
cpcustomhomes.com. From our family to yours, God bless. Thank you, construction professionals.
And welcome back to Wells Fargo Arena here in downtown Des Moines. They're playing my partner's favorite song that you probably have heard all week, the Chicken Dance here, just for you, Mr. Swain.
I didn't think I could hear this song this many times in such a short span. I actually have been dreaming about it at night. It's not good.
I'm sure you'll hear a lot of songs throughout the Boys State Tournament week, as today it's the large schools. Right now at halftime, it's Johnston leading Dowling 29-18. And the Maroons, you mentioned Jack Gregory not scoring. That's somebody that's got to get going for the Maroons. He averages 9.5 points, could shoot that 3. But Johnston's obviously locked down on him. And, I was telling people, this is the third time these two teams have played. This could be a lockdown grind out. Well, it hasn't been for Johnston scoring-wise, but it has for Dowling, getting into their offense and doing some things against a very tight Johnston defense. And Swimmer, you got to look at some of the numbers that you want to pull out here.
Yeah, well, for Johnston, Stephen Kramer is leading them with 11, 4 for 8 shooting, and he's really put on a great performance. We saw a couple times where he was able to just muscle his way down into the paint against Ryan Riedel and get up a shot. Trey Lewis had 5 points in the first, 2 or 3 possessions. But then the rest of the way, Dowling did a nice job on him, only holding him to 7 in the half. And then Reed Grant, their leading scorer, only has 2. So from that side of it, it looks pretty good. But then you go to the other side, and Dowling's shooting 36% from the field, 0 for 6 from the three-point line, 8 turnovers, and currently getting out-rebounded by Johnston. Johnston has 5 offensive rebounds, and that's why you've got this 11-point deficit here at half.
You look at some of the intangibles. Yes, you have the Reed Grant, the Trey Lewises, and the Max Rockies for Johnston. but it's been the fourth scorer. Stephen Kramer leads Johnston in scoring with 11 points. Transversely for Dowling, Riedel's launched a lot of shots, but he has 7 points at halftime. Riggs has battled foul trouble. That's Dowling's two leading scorers, along with Jack Gredicke, who has no points. And the Maroons have gotten some contributions off the bench with Jalen Moses. Andrew Lynch has been around the basketball, trying to buy time for Riggs to get back in. But it's off to that. It's that great start in the first quarter, if you look back on this, where the Dragons led by 13 at the end of the first quarter, and the Maroons have that uphill climb, and they're somewhat halfway through it here at halftime.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to point out Andrew Lynch. He did a great job coming in. First of all, he got a charge mark on the defensive end. Mm-hmm. He kept a couple balls alive with tips that led to Dowling scores. So he's done a really nice job. But, Johnston's had some guys step up as well. I mean, you look at Mason Ryan, who he comes in off the bench after Dowling had cut it to 9 and hits a monster 3 to send it back to 12. Right when you thought if Dowling could get a stop and cut this to 7, this game might have a different feel. So there's been good players stepping up on both sides of the bench.
As far as foul trouble, and I think, Mike, you somewhat touched upon this, Dowling had Ryan Riggs with 2 fouls early in that first quarter, and they kind of played him, sporadically throughout the rest of the first half, but he finishes the half with 2 fouls. Nobody else in foul trouble for Dowling. For Johnston, Carter Borwick picked up foul number 2 and 3 towards the end of the second quarter, and that's one of their starters, so that'd be something to watch. And I think for Johnston, they've been with an 8-player rotation throughout the season, at least the latter part of the season. Coach Frick and Coach Woodley have really figured out they just need 8. They went in overtime against Cedar Rapids Kennedy in their sub-state final win. So this isn't a deep bench, but at this juncture, I think the pace has favored Johnston, slowed down the extra media timeouts. We've had several here in the first half. That has favored them with their short bench.
Well, they've only went six guys in this game, and so coaches tend to shrink their benches when you get into the state tournament, and that's exactly what Coach Frick has done here. But, if more guys continue to get in foul trouble, Johnston may have to go to that bench, which could help Dowling. Not a lot of experience there as they get deeper into that bench. And for Dowling, they've got guys who have played in these spots. You mentioned Jalen Moses and Mikey Chase, Andrew Lynch, all of those guys very comfortable, and Coach O'Connor really comfortable with those guys in. So that could be an advantage for Dowling going forward. But it's going to be Johnston's ball to start, and Dowling is going to have to come up with a stop and then start getting into some offensive rhythm. And I also think it starts with the rebounding. I mean, 5 offensive rebounds for Johnston. You work hard defensively, and then you give them an offensive rebound, and they score. Those are back-crushing plays, and Dowling's got to do a much better job on the boards.
And we saw that when the Maroons scored the first 4 points of the second quarter, and then Johnston had that offensive rebound and putback to get their first basket, and ended up being a 3, and that kind of just wiped out what the Maroons trying to come back.
They were on a little mini run, and now it's so difficult, especially when you're down here, it feels like, to try and come back double digits. There's so much energy that has to go into that comeback. So a lot of things are going to have to break Dowling's way. They're going to have to continue to take advantage when they get an opportunity on the foul line to knock those free throws down. And again, they have to tighten up on the turnovers, cannot allow turnovers. Otherwise, this game could get out of hand.
All right, we're going to take a break here at halftime from Wells Fargo Arena. Our halftime score, it's Johnston 29, Dowling Catholic 18, along with Mike Swaim. I'm Mark Amadale, back after this break. And when we return, we'll start the second half here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
This is a Young Catholic Minute. Why should I have Catholic friends? You ever notice that in scary movies, if a character's going to die, he somehow gets split off from the group? I think there's a reason Christ sent his apostles out 2 by 2 on their missions. We need Catholic friends to be a constant living reminder that Christ has called us to life, that our joy may be complete. Life and joy. Who doesn't want those? The problem is that while non-Catholic friends might want them, they don't understand that Christ is where life and joy come from. So they go looking to the culture and fall for counterfeits that promise life, but give us death. And if that surrounds us, we'll be alone and confused, even in the midst of friends. So what's a Catholic to do? Go make some good Catholic friends, and together bring Christ to our culture. Everybody's waiting for him. For more, go to youtube.com/youngcatholic.
Hey, we're back here at Wells Fargo Arena, downtown Des Moines. Mark Amadeo, Mike Swaim, as we preempt regular scheduled programming this morning here on Iowa Catholic Radio to bring you coverage of the Boys State Basketball Tournament in downtown Des Moines. Johnston leading Dowling 29-18. We're underway here in the second half. Johnston with the basketball first. They go right to left towards the south basket, wearing their home white uniforms, purple numbers. And now with the basketball is Reed Grant. Nearly had the ball stolen away. Leaves it for Stephen Kramer, and he travels with the basketball before the shot. It'll be Dowling basketball.
That's a good stop. I think they were trying to isolate Rocky on the very first play to see if they could get Riggs in foul trouble, and Riggs did a nice job. And then Riedel forcing the travel. So Coach O'Connor got what he needed, a stop. Now can you capitalize?
Maroons with the basketball. Riedel in the front court. Leaves it for Riggs, top of the key. Left side it goes to Sam Hughes. Maroons back to their starting five. They lob it into Riggs, who's playing with 2 fouls. Turnaround shot up, and it's short, and a rebound, Max Rocky and the Johnston Dragons. One and done is Dowling, and Riggs may have been pushed out a little further than he normally is once he received that ball in the left block.
Oh, and they're going to get Riggs now for a hold on Rocky. That is going to be his 3rd foul.
You got locked up there with Max, and as you mentioned, 3 fouls on Ryan Riggs. That's the first foul of the second half, and that'll get Andrew Lynch in the lineup. They're going to take Riggs out immediately. 11-point lead for Johnston. It's 29-18. Johnston outscored Dowling 19-6 at the end of one quarter. The Maroons came back and outscored Johnston 12-10 in that second quarter, and the Dragons lead by 11. Here's Trey Lewis with it, working against Hughes. Leaves it underneath, and a shot off balance, good with the left hand by Carter Borwick, who's also playing with 3 fouls for Johnston. Borwick with his 4th point.
That was a really nice find by Trey Lewis, cutting Borwick on the backside.
They lob it inside. This is Lynch on the baseline. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Rebound, Riedel, and his put back up, off balance shot, no good. Didn't like he got himself set in the rebound, Johnston.
Well, it was a great rebound. He went high in the air for that, but you're right, it wasn't set, and just with the miss.
Johnston with the basketball underneath. They work it to Rocky. Layup is good. The pass from Borwick to Rocky, block to block, and now Johnston with a 4-0 run to start the third quarter.
That's great interior passing, and for Coach Frick, you couldn't draw up a better scenario. 4-0 start here to start the third quarter.
6 points now for Max Rocky for the Dragons. Dowling with the basketball, 33-18. Johnston with the lead. Here is Lynch with it. Leaves it for Riedel. Riedel dribbles to left block. Lynch in the corner for 3. It's short. And a rebound. Johnston, one and done. Dowling with the basketball. Reed working against Daniel in the lane. Is cut off. Call Reed foul on one of 3 people. Let's see if they get Daniel or Riedel. And I think this will be on Riedel. So that'll be his first foul. 5:45 remaining, and now inbounds play. A pull-up jumper good by Kramer on the baseline, and the ball goes out of bounds. Gregory went to save it, and he stepped on the baseline. It'll be Johnston basketball.
Now, nothing going down in play right now. Gregory early coming off Jalen Moses in. And
Jalen was the transfer from Cedar Rapids Xavier, played 23 games for the Saints last year before transferring to Dowling over the summer. His family took a job here in the greater Des Moines area, so Jalen brings that experience. Been injured, had a couple of knee surgeries or leg surgeries, and stands at 6'9", and he's now in the lineup for Dowling. Here's Reed Grant with Johnston on their offensive end. Reed coming off a ball screen by Rocky. Leaves it for Lewis. Lewis, a little teardrop in the lane. It's no good. Rocky with the rebound, and he's fouled. Moses with the foul, and Rocky to the line for 2.
And that's part of the problem with not having Riggs and Rocky able to get that rebound. They forced Trey Lewis into a pretty tough shot, but again, another offensive rebound for Johnston results in free throws.
So Max Rocky to the line. And his first free throw is short. Max, a 44% free throw shooter on the year. Leads the team in rebounds, steals, and blocks. But just 16 of 36 from the free throw line, making 16 of 37. Second free throw coming. Rocky with 6 points this morning for the Johnston Dragons. And
Riggs back in, Mark, for Dowling.
So Riggs goes in, and Moses will stay, and Lynch goes out. So Riggs playing with 3 fouls, 5:15 remaining, third quarter, 34-18. Johnston. Here's Moses with it, left wing, three-point line extended. To Riedel. Dowling playing catch in the perimeter. Here's Hughes with it. Sam looking inside. Dribbles in the lane. Pull-up jumper, no good. And they're going to call him for the offensive foul. They're going to call a push-off on Sam Hughes. I noticed I think it might have been either Grant or Lewis mentioned that in the first half of the official after getting called, and they're going to call the offensive foul on Dowling and Hughes.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
All right, we got a timeout on the floor. We'll take one ourselves with 4:58 remaining third quarter. It's Johnston 34, Dowling 18 on Iowa Catholic Radio.
What is the best gift ever? Giving a Catholic education is at the top of my list. Your contribution to CTO helps families send their children to our Catholic schools who otherwise could not afford it. In giving to CTO, you receive the best tax credits ever. Pledge or donate online at ctoiowa.org. The bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
Thank you, Dental Associates, for underwriting Dowling Catholic Sports 365. With over 40 years' experience, Dental Associates is a group dental practice with the mission of promoting optimum health and well-being to all patients, providing preventative, restorative, and cosmetic dentistry for the entire family. Message underwritten by Dr. Kenton Gleichman, Dr. Steve Karbaka, and Dr. Ben Nagel. Dental Associates, addressing your smile, needs, and dreams. Online at Des Moines.
A shot off the glass, no good. Tip no good by Stephen Kramer, and the Dragons come out with the rebound. Here's Reed Grant with it. He nearly lost it to Matt Riedel. Johnston 34, Dowling 18. First round coverage of the Boys State basketball tournament, Class 4A, the big schools today. And this is the rematch of Dowling and Johnston. Teams met twice during the regular season. They both won on their home courts, and now the ball knocked out of bounds by the Maroons. But Johnston got the ball down court early out of the timeout there, Mike.
Well, baseball pass, Dowling's falling asleep, letting that get all the way down and then not rebounding on the other side, giving Johnston an extra possession here.
Johnston looking to lob. That didn't work as Reed Grant inbounds it at about the 4-second mark after he gets 5 to throw it in and gets it to Trey Lewis. Lewis back to Grant. Reed with it, guarded by Simon Daniel. Out to Max Rocky, guarded by Dowling's Ryan Riggs. Now they look underneath the Rocky. His shot up and no good. Might have been partially blocked by Riedel. Moses came in to defend, and a whistle and a foul on Dowling, and Rocky back to the free throw line.
That time Riggs stayed with the ball instead of ducking down with Rocky, and he was way out there, and Rocky was wide open on the block. Tough assignment then once he catches down there for Moses.
So Moses picks up the foul. That's his second. And Rocky's first free throw good. So he's 2 for 3 this morning. Team foul number 5 on Dowling. None on Johnston here in the second half. And the second free throw by Rocky, good. He's 3 for 4. Not bad for a guy who's 16 to 36 coming in the game at 44% at the line. And he knocks him down. So Rocky with 9 points. And it's 36-18. Johnston has doubled the score on the Maroons. Here's Riggs with it in the corner to Riedel. Out to Moses for 3. Good. Jalen Moses for 3 in the left wing. He's got 5 points off the bench. And it's 36-21. Johnston lead down to 15.
Finally a 3, Mark. They're 1 for 8 now with that Moses 3.
Johnston in the front court. Dowling stays man-to-man. Little dribble weave, and now they hand it off to Rocky. Max dribbles across the court, hands it off to Borwick, who's playing with 3 fouls. On the baseline to Rocky, and he nearly had it stolen away. Finally gives it up to Borwick.
That was great help by Riedel, Mark, on that. Last time Rocky scored, Riedel was right there.
Now Lewis in the corner to Kramer. Kramer dribbles baseline, won't take the shot. Very patient. Now here's Reed Grant for 3, and it's up and off the mark, no good. Rebound Dowling and Riggs. Great patience by Johnston. Dowling with the ball as Maroons get in the front court to Mikey Chase, and he throws it away. Bad pass that time, and now stolen back by Riedel.
Good job by Riedel that time.
Matt in the front court, now in the lane, splits the defender, shot up and no good. They're going to call him for the charge as he tried to split the defenders, and Riedel with the foul. That's his second.
I thought he had Riggs there that he could have dished that ball to. Instead, he tried to take it on his own, and offensive foul going the other way.
All right, we got a timeout on the floor, one of those media timeouts. 2:57 remaining, third quarter. It's Johnston 36, Dowling Catholic 21, along with Mike Swaim. I'm Mark Amadale. Back to Wells Fargo Arena in the Class 4A state basketball tournament on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Iowa Catholic Radio, KWKY Des Moines, K233BT Des Moines, KIHS Adel. Listen online anytime at iowacatholicradio.com or download the Iowa Catholic Radio app.
This is Dale Ahlquist with a Chesterton Minute. Have you ever heard someone say that we should stop opposing things like abortion and homosexual unions because there's simply nothing we can do about it? You can't prevent that stuff, it's inevitable, so just accept it. Well, G.K. Chesterton says the other word for inevitability is impenitence. We have let ourselves be dominated by the notion that there's no turning back. This idea is rooted in materialism and the denial of free will. Now, this modern refusal to undo what has been done is not only an intellectual fault, it is a moral fault also. It is not merely our mental inability to understand the mistake we have made, it's also our spiritual refusal to admit that we have made a mistake. Want more than a minute? Chesterton.org.
And we're back here at Wells Fargo Arena out of the timeout. Johnston with the basketball. They go down court. A shot up and no good. Rebound Dowling. And here's Riebe with it in the lane. And he just fouled before the shot. And it'll be out of bounds to Dowling. That'll be the first team foul of the second half on the Dragons. With 2:35 remaining, third quarter, Johnston 36, Dowling 21. Mark Amadale, Mike Swaim, and Swimmer. Uphill climb now for the Maroons, as it has been since that first quarter.
Oh, that was Borwick's fourth foul, so Mason Ryan's coming back in for him. But you mentioned it. Only one team foul for Johnston, 6 for Dowling.
Dowling with the basketball. Simon Daniel along with Matt Riedel. Ryan Riggs in there playing with 3 fouls. And now Simon dribble drives inside and tried. I don't think he saw Riggs. He threw it right to Rocky, and it's stolen away by Johnston. They hand it off to Reed Grant, who's in the front court, and Reed nearly loses the basketball. Done a good job against Simon Daniel this morning.
He's been under pressure that time. I would have loved to see Daniel just take that ball up rather than try and make that extra pass.
Johnston doing their dribble weave. Now they have Kramer backing down, and they're going to call him for the travel. He tried to back in. I don't think there was a Dowling defender there. He was expecting some contact. Turnover against Johnston will be Dowling basketball.
Well, Coach Frick thought there was some contact, and he has been talking to that official on the sidelines. And I think he's getting sort of a warning there. I heard you, Coach. That's enough.
Our officials, congratulations to them. Brent Scharf, Shane Remington, and Joe Gatto, our three-man officiating crew. With minute 40 remaining here in the third quarter. Johnston 36, Dowling 21. Now the Maroons underneath. The reverse layup good by Ryan Riggs, and that is just his 6th point this morning.
Yeah, nice up and under move that time.
Here's Stephen Kramer coast to coast, and he puts it up and good. Stephen Kramer with his first basket of the second half. He now has 13 points to lead Johnston.
Well, that's big for Coach Frick to get a layup off of pressure.
Now Johnston now with the foul at half court. Kramer picks up his second foul. With a minute 13 remaining here in the third quarter, we want to thank the Catholic Tuition Organization, Kemen, and Mercy One for supporting our broadcast all season long on Iowa Catholic Radio. Thanks to Jimmy Olson and Deacon Tony Valdez, our studio producers today. They're tag teaming it back at the studio as we interrupt regular programming to bring you coverage of the boys state basketball tournament. The big schools, Class 4A. Jalen Moses in the lane. His shot up and no good. Rocky with the rebound, and Max outlet pass to Reed Grant. And the Dragons will bring it up. Maroons now with some cold shooting to go with things today, and that's not what you want to do when you're trying to make a comeback. Dowling has done that in the second half at times this year. Looks like the Dragons not in quite a four-corner, but they're in a, they're not looking to score, let's put it that way.
Well, and they've got Borwick back in, so no need to play another defensive possession. Go ahead and play for one shot here, Mark.
And, of course, now it's the final 30 seconds of the third quarter as I look at the clock. Johnston 38, Dowling 23 here on Iowa Catholic Radio here in the third quarter. And now Lewis is double teamed, and Coach Frick will take a timeout. We'll keep it here with 19 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Johnston 38, Dowling Catholic 23. Hey, we want to remind you that the Spring Carathon fundraiser was over with here on Iowa Catholic Radio, but you can still donate to Iowa Catholic Radio. We are listener supported. iowacatholicradio.com and /donate. And we appreciate everybody that donated during our Spring Carathon fundraiser, which began at the end of February. So you can still donate, iowacatholicradio.com, and your gift is tax deductible. Swimmer, the Maroons down here by 15, and I think that may be their largest lead or largest deficit of this morning. And Dowling's got to try to find a way to make this comeback against a team that they're very familiar with, the Johnston Dragons.
Well, Johnston actually led by 18 at one point, but Dowling now shooting 34%. Johnston's down to 42%, but the difference here, Mark, is they've got 9 offensive rebounds and 7 made free throws compared to Dowling's 4 made free throws. So those stats have added up to get this lead.
All right, 10 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Reed Grant leaves it for Lewis for a long three, well beyond the NBA G League line. No good. Out of bounds to Dowling with 4.5 seconds remaining. And the Maroons will throw it in right in front of the Johnston bench. They'll have 3/4 of a court to go. Riggs will be back in for the Maroons as Lynch will check out.
Dowling's going to have to hurry here.
I believe it's Mikey Chase that will throw it in for Dowling, and he gets it to Riedel. Riedel at half court. 2 seconds. Matt will launch the three from beyond the three-point line. No good. And we've come to the end of the third quarter with the score, the Johnston Dragons 38, Dowling Catholic 23. And we're all set for the fourth quarter. Will there be a comeback with these Maroons? We'll find out, along with Mike Swain, Mark Amadale, back with the fourth quarter with Johnston leading Dowling 38-23. And you're listening to State Tournament Basketball here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio's broadcast of Dowling Catholic sports and activities is provided by Kemin, a global ingredient manufacturer using science to transform the quality of life for 80% of the world. Kemin is on the leading edge of molecular science, manufacturing more than 500 specialty ingredients for the human and animal health and nutrition, pet food, aquaculture, nutraceutical, food technologies, crop technologies, and textile industries. Kemin strives to sustainably transform the quality of life every day for 80% of the world with their products and services. Kemin, using science to transform the world. Online at kemin.com.
Thank you to Mercy One for their support of Iowa Catholic Radio. From the cardiovascular experts at the Iowa Heart Center to the pediatric services of Mercy Children's Hospital and Clinics, Mercy provides complete care for Central Iowa's adults and children with more than 50 primary care and specialty clinics in the Des Moines area. Find a convenient Mercy One location near you. Online at mercydesmoines.org.
Back here at Wells Fargo Arena, downtown Des Moines. The boys' state basketball tournament, Class 4A, the large schools. Game 1 right now, and it's Johnston leading Dowling 38-23. The winner of this game will face the winner of the Cedar Falls Dubuque Senior game, which comes up next here on the schedule today here at Wells Fargo Arena. Later on this afternoon, it'll be Ames and Council Bluffs Lincoln at 2 o'clock, and the 4 o'clock game has number 2 seed Waukee taking on Pleasant Valley. And Swimmer, it's do or die right here for the Maroons here in this fourth quarter. Do they have enough gas in the tank to make the comeback against a very fine Johnston team?
Well, I'm just sort of looking at the body language of the bench and the players coming off, and it's just down right now. They haven't had a lot of things to cheer about, to get excited. 5 points in that third quarter, only 6 points in the first quarter. Offense has really struggled, and you've got to give a lot of credit to the Johnston defense. I mean, that's part of the reason for those point totals, but they are going to need to get an offensive output here in this fourth quarter.
Johnston 7 of 10 at the free throw line. Dowling 3 of 4 at the free throw line through 3 quarters. Johnston, as Mike mentioned, outscored Dowling 9-5 in the third quarter. Here's Riggs with the pull-up jumper. It's no good as the Maroons get the ball first. Good shot from the left block. Rebound Johnston. Kramer in the front court has the basketball guarded by Riedel. Gets it out top to Reed Grant, who's guarded by Simon Daniel. I think those two know each other very well after the third time they've played this year. And now Daniel with the near steal. Gets it back is Grant. He dribbles in the into the lane, kicks it out. Now a corner three. Well, they won't shoot it. Johnston being very deliberate. They might not settle for anything other than a layup or a mid-range jumper.
Yeah, they can afford to be patient with this lead.
Yeah, Trey Lewis launched the three beyond the NBA three-point arc. It's no good. Rebound Dowling. Moses saves him going out of bounds. Riedel with it.
So much for that strategy.
They show deliberate, and then Trey launches a three beyond the NBA G League line. Underneath here is Hughes, leads it for Moses. As Gregory starts the fourth quarter on the bench. Riggs in the right block, guarded by Rocky, and a turnaround shot up, and no good, out of bounds to Dowling as a foul on Max Rocky. And that'll be his, I think, first.
One of the things Johnston has done is they have closed out on the Dowling three-point shooters so well. There's been very few open looks for Dowling in this game from the three-point line.
Maroons will inbound the ball. That is the third team foul on Johnston. Dowling with 6. Now we've got a violation. They call it 5 seconds.
5-second count. We haven't seen that all year, Mark.
Dragons well defended that inbounds play. Now the Dragons get it down court. They launch it down court to Rocky, who got behind the basket. Let's see it. That's Carter Borwick, who got behind everybody and scores. Borwick with his 6-point.
Just another defensive lap, letting somebody get behind the defense. Should never happen.
40-23. Hughes catch and shoot from the right wing. It's no good. Rebound out to Johnston and Stephen Kramer. Dragons by 17. This is their largest lead of the second half. And now a whistle and a foul as Johnston dribbles across the timeline on Dowling.
Yeah, they're going to get Daniel on that.
That's
going to send Reed Grant to the foul line for a 1-and-1 mark. He's 70% on the year.
Reed headed to the University of North Dakota to play basketball. Has been held to just 2 points in this contest. He's 2 of 4 at the free throw line. They were all in the first quarter. First free throw is good. And that's because of Simon Daniel. Simon's been guarding him since he got off the bus and has not made a difference because others have picked up scoring for Johnston. Stephen Kramer with 13 points and Rocky with 9. Kind of distribute the wealth.
Yeah, it's been a balanced effort for Johnston. They haven't needed Reed Grant to do all the heavy lifting. And I'm sure if you ask him, he'd rather take the victory than double-digit points.
Grant with 4 points. He's 4 of 6 at the free throw line for all 4 of his points. 42-23. 19-point lead for Johnston. Now Riedel loses the ball on the floor. Ball still loose, and they try to force a jump ball, and it's picked up by Carter Borwick playing with 4 fouls.
Well, it's been that kind of afternoon for Dowling. 14th turnover for them.
Now the Dragons with the basketball. This is Kramer with it. Dribbles in the wing with the left hand. His shot with the left hand, no good. Fight for the rebound. Hughes and Rocky, or rather Riggs and Rocky come down with it. And now over and back on Johnston as they save it to half court, does the Dragons, and they lose it. Good effort that time by Reed Grant. Almost had it saved.
Yeah, a couple good athletic moves. Borwick had a nice athletic move there to try and save it as well, but just could not come down on the other side of the court with it.
5 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Johnston 42, Dowling 23. Here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Mark Amadale alongside Mike Swaim. A long three up and good by Simon Daniel. That's his 6th point of the morning. And his first 3 of the morning. That's the lead to 42-26, Johnston.
That was one of the rare opportunities Simon Daniels had to get a free look.
Here's Lewis in the front court. Pass it over to Reed Grant. Dribbles down the lane. Gets it over in the corner. This is Stephen Kramer. He'll launch a three. It's good. Corner three from the left side. Stephen Kramer, and he's got 16 points to lead the Dragons.
Well, and that's what Johnston has had all afternoon here, Mark, or morning, excuse me. They've had an answer. When Dowling has come up with a big play, they have had an answer.
30-second timeout called on the floor, and we'll keep it here. It's Johnston 45, Dowling Catholic 26. 4 minutes, 54 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter from Wells Fargo Arena, downtown Des Moines. I want to thank Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, and Dental Associates. Mark Amadale, Mike Swaim. Swimmer, I know you're going to do TV later on this afternoon. I think you will have coverage of the Ames and Council Bluffs Lincoln game. That begins at 2 o'clock, and Second seed, Waukee and Pleasant Valley. Of course, you're saying Waukee should be the number 1 seed, but, that's what you
Cedar Falls has an opportunity to change my mind here in the next game.
Yes, they do.
I'm not sure. I mean, I can be won over. I can also be paid, too. So,
yeah, you bring that golf analogy, and all your golfing buddies start texting in, and I got to delete all that stuff after the game, and it's never good. You guys must really go at it on that golf course.
I had a couple guys go at it yesterday. They went golfing, asked if I could play. I had to turn them down. But
they wanted your money, I think.
Yeah, they probably would have got it yesterday. It was a little windy, Mark.
Blank and Waveland are open today?
That's right.
Yep.
Blank was open yesterday.
Yep.
I'm sort of a perfect conditions guy. That's I'm not really good in the elements.
Let me turn my phone off, because that just caused another few more lines from your friends, your text buddies. Well, it's getting tough. It's been tough all morning. First of all, you got to hand it to Johnston. They have been playing lights out defensively, collectively as a team, and the Maroons have had too many gaps. And I know teams have both teams, all the teams in 4A have not played in 8 days, and that can be an adjustment, but certainly not Johnston. They have really came to play this morning. Now, out of the timeout, Dowling with the basketball. It'll be Hughes, Simon Daniel, and Riedel in there for the Maroons. A little dribble weave. Dowling with the basketball. Now a corner 3 by Hughes. Up good. They got a good shot off, and Sam Hughes with his first 3 of the morning. He's got 5 points.
That was really good ball movement. We didn't see that.
Now Johnston with the lob pass from Stephen Kramer to Max Rocky, and he slams it home. Beautiful play as Maroons overplayed, pressing the backcourt, and Johnston a couple diagonal passes, Mike, for the slam dunk by Max Rocky.
Well, Dowling not really known as a pressing team, and Johnston has burned them several times today.
And now Riggs inside on the pass from Riedel, and he scores. So Riggs with his 8th point. Rocky picked up his 11th, and now the other way. A shot blocked by Riggs out of bounds as Gregory slapped out of bounds off of Max Rocky.
Yeah, they tried another alley-oop that time, but Riggs was able to deflect that, and then Simon Daniel with a good play, knocking that ball out of Rocky's hands to save an easy basket.
16-point lead for Johnston, 47-31 Dragons. As Johnston will inbound it, Dowling will play man-to-man defense with 3:48 remaining here in the fourth quarter. The winner moves on to the semifinals tomorrow night at 6 o'clock against either Cedar Falls or Dubuque Senior. That game is next following our contest. Here's Lewis down the lane. His shot up, blocked out of bounds, or blocked by Riggs, and he picks it up. Keeps it from going out of bounds, and Dowling with the basketball.
Nice play by Riggs.
Here's Riedel underneath. His shot up and good. I think they're going to wave it off. Foul before the shot as the basket was good by Matt Riedel. Dribble driving in there, and he may have been shaken up on the way down.
Yeah, he ran into, there were some people there with towels and water bottles for the officials, and looks like he came up just a little gimpy there, but seems to be okay.
Kramer with his 3rd foul. That's the 14th foul on Johnston, 7 on Dowling. Maroons inbound the ball, and here's a shot up and no good by Gregory. Got the ball in the jump stop, came down and kind of threw it up there a little too strong. Didn't really get set again.
Yeah, Dowling fans wanted some contact there. They were asking for a foul, but no call.
And the rebound out to Johnston. Now the Dragons see if they milk the clock with Borwick playing catch with Reed Grant. Now to Trey Lewis. Nobody really attacking the glass for Johnston. Last time I said that, Lewis tried a 30-foot three-pointer after all that. 47-31 Johnston, 2:50 remaining, Mike. Now we got traveling on the Dragons. Ball might have been deflected, but Stephen Kramer guilty of the travel.
Yeah, good job by the Dowling defense turning them over.
All right, we got a timeout on the court. We'll take one ourselves. 2:46 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Johnston 47. Dowling 31 from the Boys State Basketball Tournament in Class 4A here in Wells Fargo's Arena in downtown Des Moines. Back after these messages on Iowa Catholic Radio.
This is Matt Wilcom, Executive Director for Iowa Catholic Radio. Thank you so much for your generous support during our Spring Carathon. Because of you, the love and truth of Jesus Christ will continue to be proclaimed throughout central Iowa and beyond. As a result, lives will continue to be transformed. Matching dollars are still available. Give us a call at 515-223-1150 or donate online at iowacatholicradio.com. Thank you. It can be easy to forget about the dignity of another when we disagree with their ideas or actions. We start to focus on the things that make us different, and the thoughts start to divide us. Before we reach the conclusion of those thoughts, we must pause and remind ourselves that person with the different idea or lifestyle has great dignity. The next time you find yourself ready to go toe-to-toe with someone, remember that they have dignity and deserve respect, even when we disagree.
And welcome back to Wells Fargo Arena here in downtown Des Moines, Iowa, as we preempt regular programming here on Iowa Catholic Radio to bring you the Boys State Basketball Tournament. And right now it's Johnston leading Dowling 47-31 here in the fourth quarter. Dowling with the basketball as Simon Daniel dribbles across the timeline. He and Sam Hughes and Matt Riedel, along with Jalen Moses and Ryan Riggs in the game. Here's Moses underneath. His shot up and off the back iron. No good. Too strong. Rebound Rocky and Johnston. Outlet pass goes to Reed Grant. Jalen got a great look, just like most things today. Couldn't get it to fall. Tough luck for the Maroons.
He's had a couple of those that haven't fallen, just been on that back iron there. It was another great look that time, and the offense has been much better in this fourth quarter, at least getting shots that haven't been able to finish.
And I think Coach Frick at Johnston has told him, hey, nothing but a layup. And they get one there. The dribble penetration by Stephen Kramer. And Borwick with the basket on the other end. Borwick with 6 points.
That was textbook how you do it. Just penetrate, no rotation, and an easy dump off to Borwick on the block.
Yeah, Johnston at this time, minute 45 remaining, leading 49-31. At this juncture, they're not settling for any jumpers. They want layups, which may turn into fouls. And now turnover by Dowling.
I'm not sure even at this point if Coach O'Connor is going to have Dowling foul with a minute 30 to go and where this situation is at. In fact, he's going to get his bench in.
I think he's going to get the rest of the seniors in. Dowling dresses 10 seniors. 8 of them are in the rotation, so 2 more will get in. Dylan Schmidt is one of them. I believe Mikey Chase may get an opportunity here, but Adam Bialzak also set to check in, another senior. 65 seconds remaining. Johnston 49, Dowling 31, and that's going to wrap up our coverage this season of our broadcast, our basketball broadcast here on Iowa Catholic Radio. First reminder, we will be bringing you baseball and softball this summer. Joe Stacy on the call when he has an opportunity as substitutions now for both teams. We have a stoppage in play. We'll keep it here, Mike. Johnston 49, Dowling Catholic 31, and that's the one speech you don't like to give as a coach, and you've done it many times at Des Moines Christian and at Des Moines Lincoln, given that final game speech, whether it be at the state tournament or at the end of the regular season or in the sub-states. And Coach O'Connor is going to have to address 10 seniors who have been in this program a long time for Dowling.
It is tough. You work so hard, and, you let these guys know that every team is going to finish with a loss except for one when it finally comes all to the end of it here. And it's you gotta give a lot of credit to these Dowling seniors getting down here to the state tournament after the first couple weeks that we saw and how much progress they have made from that point. It's a real credit to the coaching staff and these players to really keep it together. They were a tight-knit group, Mark, and to be rewarded with a state tournament berth is just fantastic.
All right, substitutions for both teams, and we'll try to get them as we go. Tanner Kennan in the corner, and now he leads it for his teammate. A three-pointer no good by the Dragons. And the rebound out to Dowling, and the Maroons now with it. This is Dylan Schmidt. Dribble drives in the lane. This shot with the right hand, no good. The follow-up shot up and good by Dowling Catholic. And Bialzak shoots and scores, and those are 2 seniors that had not gotten in the ball game.
Yeah, great job by Adam. He's in the record books now, Mark, with a basket down at Wells Fargo.
That's right. Kennan in the lane for Johnston. His shot no good. Outlet pass goes to Sam Hughes. Hughes in the lane. His shot off the glass is short. The rebound out to Ethan Raymond of Johnston. We'll give it to Kennan. That'll do it. 13 seconds remaining. 49-33 is our score. And now a pull-up jumper by Webker is no good by Johnston. Webker gets his own rebound and puts it in puts the shot up at the horn. It's no good, and we've come to the end with Johnston defeating Dowling 49-33 in a low-scoring game. Maroons held to 15 second-half points after Dowling helped holding Johnston to 20 second-half points, but the Johnston defense outlasted the Dowling offense in this contest, no question about that.
Well, and I'm looking at Coach O'Connor with Coach Frick and Coach Woodley, and they're good friends. They met at half court, and I'm sure Coach O'Connor is wishing them all the luck in the world to take on the next opponent and see if Johnston can really make a run. And Mark, you look at this Johnston team, they play like this defensively where they clamp you down. And then offensively, they take care of the ball. They've got some shooters on the outside. They've got Rocky down inside. They could make a run. This is not a team that you want to sleep on. And you mentioned it. They played the second toughest schedule in Class 4A. So no team is really scary to them. In fact, they're one of the only teams. They are the only team in the state of Iowa to beat Waukee this year. So
yes,
they are more than capable of making a run, and they just had it clicking from the beginning today. They really looked sharp early on in that first quarter, and Dowling just dug themselves in too big of a hole.
The Dragons led by Stephen Kramer with 16 points, Max Rocky with 11, and then points for Carter Borwick, who played most of the second half with 4 fouls, as now they have the trophy presentation and the advancement as Johnston will advance to play the winner of the next game between number 1 seed Cedar Falls, undefeated at 19-0, taking on an 8th-seeded Dubuque Senior with a record of 12-8. And the winner of that game will play Johnston tomorrow night, 6 o'clock here in the Class 4A semifinals. We're going to take a break. Again, the final score, it was Johnston 49, Dowling Catholic 33. The Maroons conclude their season with a record of 12-9. And Johnston advances with a record of 11-4 with the win this morning over Dowling. Again, the final, Johnston 49, Dowling Catholic 33. Will continue here at Wells Fargo Arena at the State Boys Basketball Tournament in Des Moines with our postgame show coming up here on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio and Dowling Catholic Sports is provided in part by Ashworth Vision Clinic. With 2 licensed optometrists, Barbara Sheets, a Dowling graduate, and Dr. Craig Harper, the Ashworth Vision Clinic team provides complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and pre- and post-operative care. Ashworth Vision Clinic is located at 60th and Ashworth in West Des Moines. 515-440-4610 or online, ashworthvision.com.
Thank you, construction professionals, for underwriting our show, Man Up, heard Mondays at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Construction professionals have been long supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio, and we've seen their work. It's beautiful.
They do remodeling or new construction that is innovative, functional, and designing what you want. It's a family business built on a strong foundation to create a new or remodeled home that is uniquely yours.
cpcustomhomes.com. From our family to yours, God bless. Thank you, construction professionals.
And we're back here at Wells Fargo Arena, downtown Des Moines. Mark Amadale, Mike Swaim, as final score this morning in Game 1 of the Class 4A quarterfinal round here at the Boys State Basketball Tournament. Johnston 49, Dowling Catholic 33. Again, the Maroons close out their season with a record of 12-9. Johnston advances to tomorrow night. They'll play in the 4A semifinals at 6 o'clock against the winner of the next game between Cedar Falls and Dubuque Senior. Dragons now with a record of 11-4. And Swimmer, I look at the score sheet. I see a 0 by Jack Gregory of Dowling, and then I look over to the Johnston score sheet. Reed Grant held to 4 free throws, and he is their leading scorer with 14 points and leads the team with 4 assists throughout the year, averages 4 assists. And who would have thought Grant would be held to 4 and Johnston will win, and yet Gregory not scoring at all for Dowling. It's just one of those games where the Johnston defense outlasted Dowling's appearance.
Yeah, I really think the Johnston defense was the difference here. Reed Grant only with 4 points, but he had teammates that stepped up. And every time Dowling was trying to maybe make a push to get back in this game, Johnston had an answer. You just start looking at some of these statistics. Shooting-wise, not a big difference. Dowling shoots 35% from the field. Johnston only 39% from the field. Johnston makes one more three-point attempt than Dowling, but they get to the line 12 times and 12 offensive rebounds. I think that's one of the biggest things that stands out to me. And then, of course, Dowling's 15 turnovers. And they were just at the horrible times, Mark. Most of those turnovers came early in that first quarter where Dowling really dug themselves in a hole. 19-6 is how they started that first quarter. And when you have 2 quarters of the first and third quarter where you score respectively 6 points and 5 points, that is just tough sledding to try and get back against a team that's as well coached as Johnston.
You mentioned the shooting percentages. Johnston didn't shoot lights out.
No.
Normally you're seeing 40, 50% sometimes for some of these high school teams. Both teams kind of, knuckled down defensively. Not that Dowling did a terrible job defensively. It's just that their offense was held in check by the Johnston defense. The Maroons held Johnston to 20 points in the second half. Unfortunately for Dowling, they only scored 15 in the second half.
Well, I agree. And every time Dowling would have a defensive stop, it seemed like they would give up an offensive rebound that then Johnston would capitalize and put back. And so it just was not enough. Again, I go back to that time where Dowling was down 9 and they were playing defense, and it seemed like there was a big spot. There was some momentum, maybe could have cut it to 7. And then Mason Ryan steps up and hits that shot for Johnston. And it's a big 3-pointer to push it to 12. Dowling never got closer than 11 points the rest of the game.
The Maroons made all their free throws in the second quarter. They went 3 of 4. They did not shoot or attempt another free throw the rest of the game. For Johnston, they went 4 of 6 the free throw line at halftime, and then they were 9 of 12 for the contest. They went 5 of 6 in the second half at the free throw line. So not getting free throws, which means you're not attacking the glass enough to get those attempts. That was something that kind of came out of Dowling's offense, and credit Johnston for that. They were sneaky smart they didn't put the Maroons to the line in the second half at all.
Well, it didn't go well today, obviously, for Dowling and for Dowling fans and these players. But I think you got to look at the season as a whole, Mark. And when this thing started, and a couple games early on where I got to see Dowling and the progress that they made from those games to be able to come back and beat Valley in the sub-state final at Dallas Center Grimes, come down here and represent Dowling as Wells Fargo in the state tournament. It was just a phenomenal job for these guys to rally around each other and believe in each other. I just think it was a really great, successful season, even though the outcome down here doesn't show it. But to get down here and what the coaching staff and these players did, I think is phenomenal. I think you have to be really proud of how this Dowling program responded to everything that was going on this season in CIML with basketball.
It is, and of course you're playing in a new conference and a much tougher division of the CIML. Of course, CIML will continue one more year before apparently it's going to break up. You're hearing reports of that, but right now it'll be the same next fall as it been this year. But the Maroons getting Valley, Waukee, Johnston, and Southeast Polk twice on their schedule instead of just once, and that's never easy. And most of those teams have been in the top 10, including Dowling throughout the year, in and out of the top 10 or the top 15 in Class 4A receiving votes. And we got to play them twice. That gets you tournament ready. And I think Johnston took a page out of Dowling's playbook. Johnston lost at Dowling last month. That was the last time these two teams played, and it was very handily. The Maroons came away with the win. And then Johnston kind of took it to task, and you have 8 days to prepare for a state tournament game after both teams played a week ago Tuesday, winning their sub-state final. Johnston, a tremendous win in overtime at Marshalltown against a very fine Cedar Rapids Kennedy team who beat Dowling by 4 points last month. And the Dragons come out well prepared and defended the Maroons very well this morning, and that really is what it came down to in a lot of ways.
I thought they got off to a fantastic start, and they looked motivated, Mark. Johnston just was sharp from the beginning. It looks like they took that loss when they lost at Dowling personally, and you could just see the energy, the difference in the energy level in that first half was evident. Johnston had it, Dowling didn't, and that really was the ball game. This game was basically lost in the first quarter.
Yeah. Well, Swaymer, I appreciate all you've done for us here on Iowa Catholic Radio. I'm glad that TV gig's working out for you this week. Folks, you want to tune in the Iowa High School Sports Network this afternoon. Mike has the 2 and 4 o'clock games. That'll be the 2 o'clock game has Ames, third-seeded Ames, taking on Council Bluffs Lincoln, 2 teams that Dowling has played this year, and won this year. They defeated both Ames and Council Bluffs Lincoln. That'll be at 2 o'clock, and then Swaymer will have the afternoon game at 4 o'clock between second-seeded Waukee and 7th-seeded Pleasant Valley. Looking forward to hearing your comments and seeing you there. They don't give you a whole lot of FaceTime because they know they're using, between you and that Jeff Pierce, that's old radio guys, so they don't give you a whole lot of face time.
Yeah, I think that's by design. I think they can only do so much with the talent that they have. So they're like, let's focus in on the court here. But I'm enjoying it. It's great to be down here and celebrating the state tournament with all of these teams in all 4 classes. The Iowa High School Boys Association does a great job here, and of course the Iowa High School Sports Network, bringing everything you can stream it, put it on your TV, on your phone. It's accessible, and it's just been great. I'm having a lot of fun.
All right, Mike, thanks for all you do, and I appreciate you and Joe Stacy filling in for me while I was gone during the early part of January with the COVID. But you stay healthy, stay safe, and be careful on the golf course. There's some people coming after you, as I noticed in some of my texts. So be careful out there. You may need a helmet.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it.
Mike Swain, my broadcast partner, and that'll wrap things up from Wells Fargo Arena. We should mention the scoring. I didn't go through that this morning. Stephen Kramer leading the way for Johnston with 16 points. Max Rocky with 11 points, 8 points for Carter Borwick, 7 points for Trey Lewis, and then Reed Grant held to 4 free throws. Johnston's leading scorer by Dowling. And then off the bench, Mason Ryan with 3 points. The Dragons go 9 of 12 from the free throw line. The leading scorer for Dowling in their final game of the season, Maroons had nobody in double figures. They were led by Ryan Riggs with 8 points, 7 points for Matt Riedel, and 6 points for Simon Daniel, 5 points for Sam Hughes. Off the bench, Jalen Moses with 5 points and 2 points for Adam Bialzak. Jack Gredicke did not score, and the Maroons went 3 of 4 at the free throw line. And this will be our final basketball broadcast of the high school basketball season. And I want to thank everybody behind the scenes at Iowa Catholic Radio, including our studio producers all season long, Jeff Piggott, Brady Grimm. Our thanks to Jimmy Olson and Deacon Tony Valdez this morning for sitting in. Our thanks to our business underwriters and supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio. They include the Catholic Tuition Organization, Mercy One, Kemen, Dental Associates, Construction Professionals, and Ashworth Vision Clinic. Our thanks to all the folks at Dowling Catholic High School, including Athletic Director Tom Wilson, Colleen Webb, and Michael Connor in the athletic office, and, of course, Dr. Dan Ryan, the president of Dowling Catholic High School, Matt Mainring, the principal, and, of course, Father Ryan Andrew, the Dowling team chaplain, who we here pray before each and every game. And, of course, we'd like to thank the folks from the opponent, Johnston boys basketball coach Brian Frick. Congratulations to Johnston with the win this morning. They advance to the semifinals tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Johnston 49, Dowling 33, the final. Thanks to Coach Frick and their athletic director, Josh Toby, and everybody at Johnston High School. And, of course, Michael Connor and the Dowling boys basketball squad, we thank them for all their access, having us around all season long. We thank them for letting us be accessible, and our thanks to Michael Connor and all the staff there at Dowling. Once again, the final score, Dowling losing this morning. They are done for the season. Johnston 49, Dowling Catholic 33. That'll wrap up our coverage all season long. This is Mark Amadale thanking you for listening to the official radio network of Dowling Catholic High School sports and activities on Iowa Catholic Radio, broadcasting here in central Iowa on 1150 AM, 88.5 and 94.5 FM, and streaming online at iowacatholicradio.com. For our studio producer this morning, Jimmy Olson and Tony Valdez, want to thank everyone involved throughout our coverage all season long. Reminder, we will be bringing you high school baseball and softball beginning in late May and most of June here on Iowa Catholic Radio. We'll have that posted on our Iowa Catholic Radio sports website. We'll get Maddie Maher to get that posted here in the coming weeks. So thanks to everybody involved, and appreciate our listeners for listening to each and every game, whether it be Tuesday, Friday, or even some Saturday games. Appreciate all your support. And again, Mark Amadale signing off from Wells Fargo Arena with the final score for the final time. Johnston advances to the Class 4A semifinals as Johnston defeated Dowling Catholic 49-33. For everybody involved with our broadcast all season long, have a safe and blessed faith-filled day.
Our coverage of Dowling Catholic High School basketball is underwritten by Ashworth Vision Clinic, Construction Professionals, Dental Associates, Kemen, and Mercy One. Thank you for supporting the businesses that underwrite Iowa Catholic Radio. The proceeding has been a Dowling Catholic Sports presentation on Iowa Catholic Radio.